Hey, Aiden.
Hey,
I gotta tell you a dad joke.
what's the dad joke from Dad?
What do you call a donkey with only 3 legs?
A horse?
No, a wonky.
Really?
I didn't think it was that terrible.
You really should stick to the MoneyWise FAQs, Dad.
Good morning, Sean.
Good morning, Bobby.
Sometimes we have potential clients call in or email asking about changing payroll service, and there's a lot of anxiety on if they can change, they feel stuck, or what that process looks like.
Yeah, Bobby Joe, that's a great question. The transition from one payroll service to another can feel overwhelming. It can feel like if you wanted to move to a different service that it would be difficult to change. But there are ways to make that transition smoother.
And some people also are under the misconception that they have to wait until a new calendar year or the end of a quarter. What advice would you give on that?
Yeah, you can transition payroll anytime. And really the things that you need to think about when you're ready to make a payroll transition is making sure that you have good copies of all your data. That means all of your employee data, their demographics, their deductions, their withholding. Your new payroll provider will need all of your pay history so that they can import it into their system, so that they can produce any monthly, quarterly, or year-end reporting for you correctly. And then your new payroll provider should provide you with the information necessary to give to the payroll provider you're leaving with what information that still needs to be provided by them, when their last day is, and if they're holding any money that you should be expecting to have come back to you.
I know we try to give specifics on what's being done, what's being filed, so that the business knows exactly who is responsible for what.
Yeah, basically a payroll transition is a project. And if you work with a great payroll company, they'll have a project plan for you. They'll say, hey, we need this information by this time in order to make this first payroll process. Again, they'll provide you with the information to give to your prior payroll provider to make sure that there's clarity on who's filing what and what funds are coming back to the client, to make sure that there's no duplicate filings. Really, the transition only becomes difficult and scary and less smooth if the communication isn't clear. And so my biggest kind of caution or tip in making a smooth payroll transition is to do it at a pace that makes sense for your organization, to make sure that everything is communicated clearly and all of the information is captured.
And a lot of times I also ask the business if we can just connect directly with the other payroll provider.
Yeah, that's right. For a company that's already outsourced to a payroll provider and wants to switch providers, they may not necessarily understand all the lingo, or the reports might not match up. So yes, to the extent that you can make a transition amicably from one company to another, being able to connect those two also make sure that you get all the correct information. Because at the end of the day, the most important people in that transition aren't the two payroll companies, it's the business and the employees of that business, because they're the ones who need the accurate and correct payroll information at the end of the year. If that transition isn't good, it's the business and the employees who feel the pain of that.
And another misconception I get a lot is it's going to be a big change or difference for the employee. They don't really see anything different. They still get a direct deposit, a live check, just from a different bank.
Yeah, the big change for an employee is usually either a change of where they go to get their pay stub or how the pay stub looks. Beyond that, the employee won't notice a difference. The paycheck will arrive on time in their direct deposit account and should look pretty much exactly the same from one payroll company to the next.
And a lot of local businesses too are under the understanding that it needs to be done in person, when a lot of it can just be done electronically.
Yeah, we do some due diligence work to make sure that we're dealing with real and good businesses, but that due diligence work doesn't necessarily have to be done in person. And of course, all of this information that we're talking about can be transmitted electronically, securely through the system. If you have questions about this or any other payroll-related matter, please feel free to check out our website or follow on our socials. And if you're interested in making a payroll change, please reach out to us directly.
Our website has an affordability calculator. You can enter in just a little bit of information and we'll get back to you with a quote. You can also give the office a call or schedule time to come in and speak with any one of us. We'd be more than happy to answer any questions you have.
My name's Sean.
My name's Bobby.
And this has been a MoneyWise FAQ.